Well, hello and welcome to the Extraordinary Flora class. I'm going to quickly show you what is in your class kit. So let me just get that out here. So your class kit came with a package of window sheets. If you've ordered the bundle, you will have the bundle in there. You also have your rhinestones. You'll have a roll of washi tape. You'll have some linen thread, and then your class kit. So now I need to tell you about your class kit. It's very important what you do when you grab these out. So let me just put all this off to the side because this is actually a customer's kit. All right. Now, so here is my kit right here. When you slide this out, slide it out carefully because these are all stacked in order. Okay, so your first card is folded in half. I don't do it just because, well, I don't have to put it in an envelope. But everything you need for your first card is right in your envelope. Again, for your second card, right in your envelope. Your third card, right in the envelope. All the bits and pieces that you need are right in those envelopes, okay? Now, you will also have a couple of extra pieces here. This is for the project box, all right? And I'll show you how to create your box. I will be doing a video on that. But these pieces all go together. So make sure that they're stacked together. Don't take everything apart and put it on your desk. Just do it by your envelope. There's also a sheet in here that you will be using with your washi tape, and I'll be showing you that in just a few minutes. All right, because you'll be using the things that you die cut out for multiple cards. All right, so I'm going to put this off to the side. Let's start with the thing that we're going to do first. We're going to take our larger piece of white that was in the back of your package, and you're going to open your washi tape. Now, what I recommend when you open your washi tape and you're going to leave it sit, just fold over your end just a little bit. That way you will have it easier to roll and unroll when you're done. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this and I'm going to just pull a little bit out. Now, I'm going to take my strip. These are in pieces of 6 by 6, 6 inches long. So I'm going to pause for a second. Okay. So I'm going to take this sheet here, and I'm going to slowly do this, all right? So I'm going to go right to my edge. And press it down, and then just take your time and slowly go over your paper, all right? Now, when the next start of flowers come, just go ahead and trim that down because the die will fit the whole thing. So I'm going to do this one. Then I'm going to do my next roll here. Again, I'm going to go on the edge because it'll be easier. Just make sure you have it straight. Okay, smooth it out. And just smooth as you go. And gently unroll it. All right. And I'm just trimming around that. All right, so we're going to start with these. All right, so we're really prepping what we're going to be doing and using for the rest of our cards right now. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull out my stamp set here. I'm going to pull out my die right away. If I can get that picked up. There we go. All right. Now you'll need a large block or a stamp apparatus or whatever you have. I'm going to grab one of my large blocks here. Actually, I need a larger block. All right, so here's my larger block. I'm going to go ahead and place my stamp right on there. I'm going to bring in my StazOn. Now make sure you have a well inked StazOn, because if you don't, you're not going to get these impressions really nice. I just re-inked mine. Hopefully it's not too inky. With StazOn, make sure that you close your lid and that you clean your stamp. It is going to stain your stamp. Okay, so I've got that done. Now I'm going to look through my stamp here, and I am going to stamp right on my washi tape. Sorry if my head is in there. Right, just going to give it a nice even press here. I want it to stamp on that washi tape. If you have a stamp apparatus, that's also a really good thing to use. And you can kind of lift. All right, now StazOn dries pretty fast. All right, so I want to make sure I'm getting a really good impression by pressing down all over. And then I'm going to slowly lift up my stamp. All right, now you have a lot of washi tape here. So if your first time it didn't turn out so great, go ahead and just roll another piece. All right, so there we go. I'm going to go ahead and clean this really quick. All right, now that I got that clean, I'm just going to set this aside. I'm going to let it dry. It shouldn't take too long to dry. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in my window sheet. All right, so you get 2 window sheets in each of your packages here. Pull out one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a strip of this that is 3 1/4 inches wide by 12, and I'm just going to cut that piece down. I know you can't see it very well, but I do have a piece. Okay, so I've got my 3 1/4 by 12. Now I'm going to take my washi tape again. I'm going to start at the end. Get my edge lined up over there. It should go right to the edge. And I'm going to start up just a little bit here so I can get my whole flower on there. Oh. It's sticky. All right, so then smooth it down and gently again start unrolling. As you go, make sure that you're getting the little wrinkles out. Now with the washi tape, the window sheet, you can lift it up so you can get those bubbles out, and then just slowly go with your hand. All right, I'm just kind of going quickly here in the video. All right, but you do want to take your time with it and go slow. All right, and go as far as you want. If you want to do, a whole bunch of colors, you can, because there's 2 different sets of colors on here. All right. So just keep rolling. If you need to, just unroll it. Get your wrinkle out and then continue. All right, so I'm just going to keep going down my sheet. Now my first part is kind of wrinkled. I'm not going to worry about it. You have enough window sheet to practice with. All right. So I'm just going to keep going because I'm getting it pretty smooth right now. I don't want to stop that process. So I'm just going to keep going to the end of my sheet here. All right. And because those got wrinkled down there, I'm going to go ahead and just go right here. Oop. And then I'm going to trim it down. Oh, I've got something else sticking on my elbow. I'm just going to trim it where the next batch starts. All right, I'm going to smooth it out. Now, if this part's all wrinkly, you know what? You can always peel it back up, reposition it. If you've gotten your washi tape too wrinkled, well, just lift it up Okay, like that piece is too wrinkled to use, so I'm going to just actually cut it off. Right to where my wrinkles start. All right, I'm just going to cut it straight right here. All right. So I'm just gonna get rid of that piece. And I'm going to restart it. So again, I'm going to go to my end. I'm going to line up my edge. Your washi tape here, your washi tape is 3 1/4 inches wide. So that's why you want a 3 1/4 inch piece of window sheet. Okay. So there we go. I'm overlapping a little bit, but that's all right. So we're just going to trim where the new flowers start. Okay, so now the next thing is we're going to go ahead and pull in our stamp again. Now, if you don't like this look, you don't have to do it. You can use it just like this. But I wanted to show you how versatile this washi tape is. So you can use it on window sheets. You can use it on just regular cardstock. All right. And now I'm going to pick it up. Again, I'm going to look through this. I'm going to line up my flowers. Okay. And I'm going to give it a really good rub so I know that the ink is being transferred. So I'm actually going to stand up and press. Okay. And then I'm just going to gently lift it off. Now this will take some time to dry. So I'm just going to put it aside. I'm going to do my other piece here. Again, make sure your ink pad is really well inked. Again, look through your stamp here. Line your flowers up. And then press down. Again, you want to give it a firm press. I sometimes rock it a little bit. I really want that to get pressed on. You're going to have so many extra flowers. Don't worry if something didn't go perfect. And you have still a ton of this tape. I have like made triple of this class, so I haven't even gone through. I mean, that's not very much. All right. So we're going to lift it. And gently lift this because it'll still be wet. All right. Put this aside now. Let it dry while you're working on your other cards. I'm going to go ahead and just use my StazOn cleaner again. I'm going to really get this clean. Now, your stamp will stain. No doubt about it. That's what StazOn does. All right, but you can get it somewhat clean if you stamp off right away on a scrap piece of paper, or if you clean it with your scrub right away. So I have my scrub here. I'm just going to take my time. And sorry, my camera is bouncing because my whole table is shaking. And I'm really scrubbing at this. All right, so it's still stained. But it's clean. All right, so I'm just going to set that aside. We'll use it again in another card. All right, let's go ahead and grab our first card. Let me see if I have tips for you on that one. It's pretty straightforward on that card, so you shouldn't have too many problems. The hardest, no, I don't want to say hardest, the most time consuming is this part right here. Stamping it and then die cutting it. All right, we're going to die cut some of these while we're waiting for that to dry. So I'm just going to take this. trim it right at the end of my washi tape there. I'll take this one. Now I have a whole bunch already die cut here. So I have my little box of ones that I've already done. All right. So I just want to show you how to run this through. Now you can, you know, look at your paper here and you can see like this one's still a little bit wet. So I'm just going to wave it a little bit. And you might just have to wait for a moment or two. This one will probably take a little bit longer to dry because I got it pretty inky. And if you want to stamp this and come back to it later, you can. I am just going to, for the purposes of the video, I'm just going to blot this one. Straight up. I'm going to blot this one. There we go. Okay, they're not too bad. All right, so I'm going to bring in my small die cut machine here. You can use your large one or you can use this one. Just for the sake of this video, it's easier to do. So I'm going to die cut all of my stuff all at one time, and then I'll go back to creating my cards. All right. Now I'm not going to walk through each of the individual cards. A lot of them are pretty easy and straightforward, so you should be able to just follow the directions and be able to do them. All right. When I'm die cutting the window sheet, I run it back and forth a couple of times. All right, so now I've got all these pieces here. I just need to pop them out. Okay. And look how many of these pieces. This is amazing. You get all at one time. All right. We're going to start, let me just grab my cards here and we'll see which one I really need to give you some direction on. All right, make sure my hands were a little inky, so I'm just making sure I don't have wet ones. Okay. Now, on our let's start with our first card here. So this first card, is that my first card? I guess it's going to be. Okay, first card, I actually used it when it was on white cardstock, but you could easily use it when it's on the window tape. It doesn't matter. What's kind of cool when you use a window sheet is you'll have a little bit of that color from your cardstock in the background. So this part is totally up to you on which you want to use. You can use a window sheet or you can use your white. It does not matter. All right. So on this one, you've got your sentiment strip. You've got a layer of strawberry slush to put on top of it. Once you get that stamped and mounted, just go ahead and trim a little bit out. This is your card base. Now, if you have any questions, please reach out to me and I can either send you another video. All right. So now this piece here is for the inside of your card. You stamp your sentiment, you'll have it here. And then you're just going to take 3 of your die cuts. It doesn't matter which ones you use. I've got several here. Oop, don't need a piece of my hair with that. So just layer them on there. All right. So here's my original that's in the photo. And here, just grab some from the same colors, okay? And then just sprinkle your gems around it. All right, so that's one. Again, you can use your window sheet one or you can use the other one. All right. So now this one is our next card. So again, you're going to be using your dies that you cut out earlier. All right. Doesn't matter if you're using the window sheet or the white ones. Totally up to you. I already have that piece embossed for you. So in your envelope here, you'll have these 3 pieces and a strip of white, which I must have dropped my strip of white here. Here it is. So you'll have that strip of white in there. All right. You're going to stamp your sentiment with Pretty Peacock. Okay, and then trim it down. Your lemon lolly circle is just going to go right on the front. And then what I did is with my flowers here, I went ahead and I put them together, the ones I wanted to use. I just went like this, and let's see, we got my little flowers here. I had some extra little flowers because I've cut out so many. I'm really kind of doing this quickly because there's another one I want to show you, and all right, let's see here. Okay, well, I can't find the little yellow one, so I'm just going to use, I don't know. I'll just use whatever. Okay, we'll just use this one. I'm going to tuck this one behind there, and I'm going to take another, we'll take one of these, okay? And then I'm going to use my dimensionals to kind of hold everything together. So I'll adhere it with a dimensional right to the front of my circle. I'll pop up the different areas. I'll put this on dimensionals. And then for my bow, I just tied a double bow with linen thread, and I glued it right underneath my sentiment strip. So let's get these little pieces out of the way. All right, and then you'd adhere this right to the front and then right to your card base. You can put it in the middle, you can put it off to the side, totally up to you. Be creative, do it how you would like to see it. I'm just going to put these pieces right here. And this is the next one I really want to show you a technique on. All right, so in this card kit here, you have an extra piece of basic white, all right? This is where you're going to do your stamping and your blending. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some blending brushes here, and I need one that is pink, and I need one that is green. I mean, you can use whatever blending brushes you have. There's a green, and I need a yellow. Okay. Doesn't look like I have any large green ones, so all right, we'll just use these. And we're going to pull in Petunia Pop, Daffodil, and then Granny Apple Green. Where did my Granny Apple Green go? All right, so I'm going to use these three colors here. All right, so what I'll start with is I'm going to stamp my image. So I can get this nice and stamped, inked up. I'm actually kind of twisting this pad a little bit so I get this really inked up, all right? Again, and I am just going to put it right here, just like that. You'll have room to stamp some more. This is just extra for you. All right, that turned out pretty good. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my yellow. Get some ink on here. And I'm just going to take a scrap and kind of dab there. And then I'm just going to color some of the flowers with the yellow. And let's see what other ones I did here. Let's do this one right here. All right. So I didn't do too many, I just did a couple. All right. If you want to add a little more color to some area, you can. All right. Then I'm going to come in with my Petunia Pop here. And this one, it's really dark when you use this ink, so I'm going to start kind of light. And it's okay if I have a little pink going on my leaves. Not a big deal. All right. And we're going to do this one too. I might just do that whole thing. All right. And now I'm going to bring in my Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to start doing my leaves. Now, if I want them darker, I can make it darker. All right. Okay, you can always add more ink, so just start light and then just add more ink. I like to dab it off again before I start doing my coloring on here. Turn your paper as you need to. Some of these. All right. And we'll do this one here. All right. If you wanted, you could stamp 3 different times and do, you know, a full sheet of one color. Come back and do the next color. I just want to add a little bit more here. All right. Okay. So in the end, I will end up having a lot. So if you do it one full color of daffodil, one full color of petunia, one full color of green, you would have all of these in those colors. So we're going to run this through the die cut machine. I just need to trim it down really quick. All right. Go. I just want to turn this way. With the little mini die cut machine, you don't want to have your paper hanging over the front. It doesn't like to go through. So have your excess hanging in the back. All right, so put this down, run this through. And maybe you don't like how your colors turned out. Go ahead and just put more ink over there, stamp it again, and then you have all these colors. All right. So get all these out. All right, so you have a whole bunch to choose from. Get this out of the way. And now I'm going to pull in that card again. All right, so what I did here, we're just going to do the whole card. I just started laying out the things I'm going to stamp. So that's my sentiment strip right here. And I'm going to just start grabbing some flowers here. I'm just going to lay them on. Maybe I want some more of the pink. Well, I can go ahead and stamp more of that pink and add it in. I think I've got some in here. So here's a pink piece. And a yellow piece. And a pink. I've got a bunch of pink in my little bin here. Again, I was doing quite a few of them. So, all right, let's just go from here. This one might be more of a yellow one based on what I've gotten done. All right, we want this flower to stick out. So I might have some green over here. So just start building up your flowers. There's no right or wrong. Just start tucking them in. All right, tuck them in, and let's see, maybe we'll put this one up here, just like that. Again, every one is different that I've done, based on, you know, what flowers I have and what pieces I have left. I'm going to add a little bit more there, and yeah, I think we'll just go with that. Maybe we'll put one down here. We'll put one up here. And now what I'll do is I typically will take a picture with my camera and then I will start assembling. But on this one, because you're watching my camera, I'll just start adding things behind it. Now, for this right here, I did pop a couple of the flowers up on dimensionals. All right. Once you have all that done, you're going to put this onto your 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock, and then sprinkle your embellishments on. All right, so my sentiment will be laying right over here. Just trim it down like you need to. If you want to add washi tape to it, you can add washi tape to it. All right, so hopefully that was more instructions than you need. Hopefully they go together quickly for you. The last thing I'm going to show you is our card box. So in your kit, all right, so our next our last project is our little gift box. So you have the picture in the tutorial and instructions, but I'm going to give you a couple little tips here. So the first thing is you have 2 pieces of soft sea foam. They both measure 8.5 by 5.5. On one of them, we're going to cut down a little sliver, and I do mean a sliver. So just slide it into your trimmer on both sides. So like maybe a 1/16 of an inch at the most, okay? That's kind of an 1/8. So let's see, that's an 1/8. I don't want an 1/8. Just a little sliver. All right. And then turn on this side and also cut down a little sliver. Okay. See how tiny those pieces are? That's about how much you want to cut off. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and score this on all 4 sides at 3/4 inch. All right. So I'm going to go here, move your cutting blade out of the way. So 3/4 inch. 3/4 inch. 3/4 inch. And one more time. All right, so that's our bottom piece. All right, make sure that you know that's your bottom. All right, so we're going to set this off to the side for a moment. We're going to take our top piece and we're going to score this at 3/4 inch on all 4 sides. And here. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors. Where'd my snips go here? And on the 4 corners, oh, I forgot to score one. Oh, no, I didn't. We're just going to go ahead and trim this. So I'm going to trim it straight right here. And then I'm going to miter this corner. Okay. So I'm going to do that on all 4 sides on both pieces. That just allows us to close our box better. Our box will get assembled better. All right. Go to this side. This side. Now this piece I have right now is my top piece. All right. So before I do anything else, I'm going to take this piece of soft sea foam that has been run through the embossing folder. So this is the plaid embossing folder, and I'm going to adhere that onto the top of the box. I am going to use my liquid glue, and the reason is if I need to slide it around, I can. I also think liquid glue holds better. And I don't want this to come up. All right. So I'm just going to use a thin bead, but I am going to make sure that I get enough glue on here to hold it in place. Okay, you do want to use a thin bead there. All right. So then I'll flip it over. And I'm going to lay it right on top. I'm just going to center it in my score lines there. All right. Just like so. All right, give it a good press. Might have a little bit of glue here. Just kind of wipe your glue off. All right, then I'm going to take my sides here and I'm going to burnish all those. Again, this is my top. All right. Now I'm going to take some strong adhesive. Now you can either use your liquid glue or you can use your Seal Plus. Now, when you're using liquid glue, it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. So I'm just going to match the corner there so it's a straight corner. All right. And you have to hold it in place for just a minute. So for the sake of the video, I'm just going to switch over to my Seal Plus. Okay. So I'm going to do my 4 tabs. I'm just going to adhere all my 4 tabs right away. Okay, you're folding those in. All right. And then you're just going to go around, just match the outer edges. Get outer edges on all four sides. All right. So there is my box top. All right, just like that. I grab my bottom piece now. You can burnish first, whichever makes it easier for you. It doesn't matter if you cut first or burnish first. And we'll do our four corners again. All right. Pull that little piece off. Didn't really do it to my corner there. There we go. All right. So when you do your little snips on the edge, make sure you go all the way up to where that other score line is. And I've got glue on my finger here. All right. One last corner here. All right. We'll get our little pieces out of the way here. Instead of having everything lay over there. All right. Same thing. Fold in your corners. Use your liquid glue or your seal. I mean, you can use tear and tape. It's just a little harder just because it's such a small piece. All right. Then we're going to do the same thing we did on top. Just match our corners. You know, give it a squeeze there so that it grasps that paper. All right, so there is our bottom. Now, if you want to make the box a little bit different, you can do it at 1 inch, but then you'll have to trim down that top piece. All right, so that is our box. So now let's go about decorating our box. So we have a piece of strawberry slush, and this is a 2.5 inch circle. I'm going to grab some of the pieces here that I die cut from my window sheet. All right, so here's the piece I cut from my window sheet. Now, when you're running it through, you're going to hear some crackling. That's just because it's cutting through that window sheet. So pop all these out. I really like that this is one die because that way I don't have to cut out individual ones and hope they don't bounce around. Now, we're not going to use all the pieces. You can. Feel free. They're yours to do with whatever you would like. Yeah, so that piece didn't quite cut through. All right, so now I've got all these pieces. Get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. All right, so I've got all these pieces here to work with. Now what's going to be fun is like this piece, kind of I didn't cut all that great, but it's going to show the green through it more, so I'll see that green through it. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start decorating around my circle. So I haven't adhered my circle yet. I want to see what pieces I'm going to have decorating through. And I'm just going to randomly grab some here. I think I'm going to pop this one up. I'm going to pop a couple of them up. Actually, you know what? We're going to pop most of them up. All right. So just kind of go around just like that. All right. If you need to fill in, now right over here, I'm going to angle this one. I feel like I maybe should go this way with it. Just covering the red on my circle, on that circle there. So I just may need a couple pieces to kind of fill in. I'm going to have this one over. I don't need that. I'll have this one right here. And then we're going to take our sentiment here, and let me just get my stamp set. All right. And I'm going to stamp happy birthday. I think I have a happy birthday in here. Oh, I grabbed a different sentiment from another set on my sample. So I'm just going to grab, and I can't read it. I can't read it there. Okay. This says for the extraordinary couple, congratulations with love. We'll just do congratulations again. But you can grab any sentiment set you have and use that. And I'm going to stamp that in our strawberry slush. So here we go. I've got congratulations. No, I didn't stamp that very straight. All right. And I'm just going to snip that down. All right. I'm going to take my strip of not Granny Apple Green, Garden Green. I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back of here. I'm going to pop that on here. I probably should cut this down this end a little bit more. All right. I'll put it there. And I'll snip this piece down. All right. And I'm going to be putting that right here. So it kind of fills in that little gap. All right, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and pop our pieces on here. So first I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull them off. I'm going to adhere my circle down, and I'm going to use my liquid glue. Okay, I want to put enough on there so it's going to stay on there, because that embossing folder is really a deep, just rub it on there. You could do it even before you would, assemble your box. All right. Okay. So now we're going to grab some of our dimensionals, and I'm just going to start putting my dimensionals on here. And you may have to grab your mini dimensionals too. So I'm going to grab some of those out. In fact, I'm pretty much going to use my mini dimensionals. All right. Let me lay that one flat. I'm going to lay this one flat. Just the ones with the flowers I'm going to be popping up. Okay. So we'll take some of our liquid glue, and we'll just start putting our pieces around. Now, I don't remember where I had them, so we're just going to go with it. Just going to keep going around my circle. I'm going to overlap some of those. Let me put this piece in here. Didn't originally have, oh, here I have this one. Just tuck that in. All right. And I know I'm going to have this one here. And I'll have this one over here. I think that will work. I'm going to stick that little leaf there under that, and put this one down just like that. And now I have that little opening, and that's where my sentiment's going to go. Oh, where did my sentiment go? Here it is. We're going to put it through just like that. We'll put that up on dimensionals. Just like that. And for grins and giggles, I'm going to just add, I have some extra pieces here, so I'm just going to add some extra on there. So I'm going to pull in a little bit more than my photo showed in the tutorial, but hey, have fun with it. Play around, add things in. I just felt like I needed something right there. And I think that one will go nice right there. Just gonna tuck it in there. Give it a nice little press. Okay. And that is your little gift box. Now, the other thing that you want to do is grab your twine, your linen thread here. And I'm just going to go ahead and tie a big loopy bow. All right, so I've got a big loopy bow going here. There we go. And I'm going to just put that right on here with a mini glue dot. I'm going to take my mini glue dot and I'm just going to roll it into a little log here, a little schnibble. Put that there and then just adhere it. Now you can leave your tails as long as you'd like. All right. So that is our last project. Now, if you don't know where you're going to go with that, what you can do is put all your pieces that you've already cut right in your box, and you can have them for later. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this class. I hope you have a lot of fun playing with it. I'd love to see what you come up with in addition, because you are going to have extra supplies, so I'd love to see it. All right, so until next time, thank you again for purchasing our Extraordinary Floral class, and let me know how much fun you've had. All right, take care, and we'll see you later.